Before we start the show, let me thank you for clicking onto this video. If you'd like to see more videos like these, why not subscribe and hit the bell button so you'll never miss an episode. Now, on with the show.
One mark will be vehicle 6. Comprised of warrior women.
Hi friends, I'm LJ Jarvis, and welcome back to Will's Jarvis Show.
Greetings everyone, welcome back to On Air with Jarvis, the podcast of all things Warhammer and general stuff I find of interest. Joining me today are the boys themselves, once again, Hubrecht and Ineptus. How's it going, gentlemen?
Hey, how's it going, Jarvis? Everything's fine. Been doing fine. 10th edition is just around the corner, so excited for that. How are you, gentlemen?
I'm doing all right. I'm fine. Good to speak to you both again. Hope you're both doing well. I'm just trying to stay out the heat and trying to keep up to date with the news.
Yeah, 10th edition is just round corner, and everyone's obviously excited for that, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, to be honest, I never even got to grasp in 9th, and they changed the bloody edition.
It's like, yeah, 9th edition did feel like it went quickly, yeah? Even though it's the same amount of years as 8th edition.
Yeah.
It burned bright, but it burned quickly.
It did, bloody quickly.
Yes, the funny thing about 9th is that I think that it's some of the best, model releases we haven't gotten, we got in 9th. But, rules-wise, I didn't even play a single game of 9th. Not only due to, COVID, because let's remember this came out during COVID. Yeah. The Plague Edition, we could call it.
This tabletop game we do. Yeah, let's publish a brand new edition where no one can meet up to play the game. Great idea.
Though funny enough, 8th edition would be called the Plague Edition because it was Death Guard.
Yes. Maybe it was, how those whole theory channels about how the Simpsons predict the future. Maybe we should do a theory video about how Warhammer 8th edition predicted COVID.
Imagine such irony if Death Guard came in 9th edition and Necrons came in 8th edition. Imagine the irony.
Yeah, but from what I understood, like by the time I tried to kind of at least browse the rules of 9th, there were like the ideas. A lot of ideas were good, but God, like people are already reluctant to get into this, hobby. Leaving aside the overpriced plastic, the how time consuming it can be, or how addictive it is. A lot of people are like kind of like repellent to the idea of a tabletop game that is more complicated than Monopoly. Yeah. And 9th edition, the rules bloat got insane. Like you had to keep track of so many goddamn things. It wasn't even funny.
It's like I remember Gamza saying that 9th edition was like a baby's game because for how simple it is. And it's like, dude, what are you talking about? This is more bloated than 8th edition.
Yeah. Like from what I, the people I talked about 8th edition were kind of like when I just first started trying to actually play was 8th edition, right? Like, as I've told you before, I came around the late end of 7th. And, like the friends I made in the hobby club that were, that were players of 7 were like, oh, 8th, just so simple, so simplified, everything so easy. And looking back on it, yeah, maybe. But it was, 9th, maybe you could make the argument that, at surface level, it was kind of too simplified, but the bloat, you need to keep up with stratagems, with special army rules, with relics, with
I make a command point.
Command points, yes.
Yeah.
I shoot you. I make a command point.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, but honestly, before we even start talking about 10th edition, even though 9th edition felt pretty quick, and yes, the rules were bloated, was there a specific spotlights from you two that you liked the most?
Well, I mean, this is kind of obvious coming from me, but Ninth got the Templar refresh, and I was very
That's
happy
right.
about it. And that's obvious, so I'm gonna choose another one just for the sake of variety. variety. The fact that the Eldar got the first half of the refresh. I mean,
Oh yeah, that was
yeah,
good
because like the old Tyranid models, yeah, they looked kind of old, but they still hold up, sort of.
Mhm.
But the Eldar, we have talked about it before. We have said it many times. They desperately needed it because it wasn't funny anymore, right? It wasn't funny anymore, and I'm glad that they finally, when someone actually wants to play an Eldar army, they can actually put something that looks pretty on the table.
Yeah, that's right. And but what do you think, Ineptus? Was there something you liked specifically?
I'm going to be a complete basic bitch here, because obviously I had a lot going on during when Ninth came out, and it was COVID. I had a lot of other stuff going on, so I didn't manage to get, I don't think, a single game in. But I remember seeing the models coming out, and I'm going to sound like a real basic bitch here. I did like some of the new vehicles the Space Marines got,
Mm-hmm.
the new land speeders.
Nah, that's not basic, dude. That's a base. That's a base opinion.
That's
man.
based, yes.
I don't know. I think Space Marines I think something different. I like Space Marines, but yeah. So some of the new vehicles and new models they got.
Yeah.
I can't think of specific ones other than the land speeder that I still haven't bought.
Yeah, I haven't bought that land speeder either, to be fair.
It's like we're a table of Space Marines. Of course, one of us will say Space Marines, man.
I mean, technically, I started with saying Black Templars. I just said Eldar, for the sake of variety.
Yeah, of course.
Let's not forget Lionel Johnson came back, and it's very recent, but technically still the 9th release. So
I was literally about to say, would that technically count as 10th Ed, because it's sort of setting up for 10th, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I would say it counts as 9th because technically that's the edition that was out at the moment of release. But I mean, but yeah, technically speaking, it lasted 2 seconds of 9th edition because 10th edition. Yeah. It's literally pre-orders. I think. Yeah.
Oh, let's not forget them bringing the squats back into it.
Oh yeah, right.
Let's not forget that, because that is massive lore development we haven't seen since. Was it the 90s they killed out the squats?
It was by 2nd edition, in which they said, "Okay, these guys get eaten by Tyrannids, and it's done."
Yeah. Well, so seeing them come back into the fold, and I can speak to how nasty they are on the tabletop. They are just vicious little bastards. They really are.
Yeah,
great having another faction in it that aren't just random aliens, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, that's something I'm going to definitely bring up in the podcast later on. But about the whole Leagues of Votann and stuff. If I could say a quick thing, I think my spotlight, you guys know me, so you'll know this, is definitely Farsight.
Yes. And that's a pretty recent one too. It came with Ox of Omen.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this thing is much more pretty than I ever thought Games Workshop would ever do for this character.
Yeah,
it's like giving him his own crisis suit. His own design. It's a new suit, but it's just for him. And seeing it's so slick, it's so smooth. It's like, wow, this is awesome. And the pose of it, come on, are you telling me that's not a samurai?
I'm glad that they embraced the towels are weeb meme. They pretty much embraced it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks like a samurai. He looks like a Ronin. I think that's very clearly the aesthetic they were going for. And I mean, I'm glad you finally got it. I mean, and I'm glad you finally got it. Good thing for us in the sense that we both got, what we wish for in ninth. That's kind of what I mean by ninth is kind of like a strange beast in the sense that, the rules were a mess, but the minis released during ninth were mostly all great. I cannot really nothing that I didn't like, that I actually hated can come to mind. I don't know if anything that came out wasn't to any of you guys liking.
Desolator squad.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't complain too much because I've got 2 bloody squads of them, but it looks so goofy. They do. It's like big bloody Nerf guns or Fallout laser guns.
You casuals, those guys are awesome.
Oh, they are awesome.
Okay.
They just
I do not hate them. I'm mid on them. I'm mid.
This is Dawn of War. This is Dawn of War.
Mid.
These are Dawn of War aesthetic Marines. You will not talk down on my Dawn of War Marines. And that's coming from me, who's doing Blood Ravens. So yeah.
Oh, there we go. That'll do it.
Yeah, that explains that.
Bloody magpies.
Yes.
Marge Simpson. I just think they're neat.
Here's a question for you, Mr. Jarvis. Seeing as you've got the command, you're getting the Commander Farsight model. The little plants on the base. You're going to paint them pink or?
I'm painting them pink. I am painting them pink. Why would I not paint them pink?
Full weave mode. Love it.
While you were praying to the Emperor, I studied the blade.
Despite Farsight being, Farsight and Nitao being like Japanese and Chinese, I will say this: Farsight is probably the greatest Sikh. Because I'll tell you why he's Sikh. Because it's almost like the oh goodness gracious meme skid.
Yes, because I know
show. Right. So he's from a caste system. Eventually, he made his own society, and he carries a sword with him out of his new enclave of people. So that makes him a Sikh. His suit just needs to be orange, and then he'll fit the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good observation.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good observation.
So that's the dad's argument on why Warhammer's Indian. Also, the fact that the Emperor had like 18 sons, no daughters. So.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Everyone know the Imperium is Mexican, dude. What are you talking about?
No, Necromunda is Mexican.
You're kidding, British.
No. Necromunda is Mexican.
Yeah, okay. Necromunda is Mexican. It's funny because on the hobby store, I kind of made that joke that I told the guy on the counter that, he asked me, hey, are you interested in the new, the new Seraphon, the Lizard Man, the new models that came out, that those are great as well for Age of Sigmar. And
those are great models.
told him, sorry, what?
Oh, no, those are great models. Like,
yeah.
I'm actually going to pick up the Battle Tome today after this podcast. It's going to be great.
Oh, really? I almost picked it up today, but I kind of want to wait a little bit because I think I might move out in a couple of months, so I don't want to burden myself with too much things.
Okay.
Well, whatever. And he asked me, hey, are you interested in that box set? And I told him, yes, but I think I'm going to wait till, a Vanguard box comes out, right? Mm-hmm. And I told him, you know what, I told him, you know what, I only need that Necromunda, releases a squadron, a new clan or family or whatever they're called, that is kind of like very clearly Sicario inspired, so I can literally complete the Mexican the Mexican squad of Warhammer. The Black Templars are Catholics. The Seraphon are Aztecs. Now we just need the Narcos.
Meme. That's my meme.
Yeah, I stole it. Hurts, doesn't it? Blood Raven.
Waiting for that, Blood Raven. Yeah.
Shut up.
Oh, wise guy, eh?
Oh, wise guy. But yeah. So on the
It
topic,
kind of started already.
but yeah, on the topic of 10th edition, before we talk about the box set and all that, I was hoping to get your opinions on the trailer that they revealed, because I have a lot to say about it. But what do you guys think of it?
You mean the cinematic trailer?
Yeah, that's what I mean by 10th edition trailer.
Yeah. I wonder if they'd put a new one out that I haven't seen.
You haven't seen it?
I have seen it. I've seen that one, yeah. I thought there'd been another one since I've seen the last one. It's interesting where they're going lore-wise, because it seems to be, well, from Gulliman's perspective, is that there's no room for hoping anymore. We just got to do things.
It's
I
like,
thought his dialogue was, it's like, there's no point praying anymore. There's no point hoping we're going to win. The only way we're going to get past this is by going out there and kicking ass.
it's like, my opinion is that 9th edition, right? So that trailer put humanity in like the hopeful side that they could succeed, that we are able to win if we push hard enough. And because we have our Primarch returning, we can do this. However, in 10th edition, I think the gravity has settled in and humanity's at DEFCON 1. And this is where they're like, oh, maybe this is much worse than we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the trailer is great, very beautifully animated, very exciting, very epic, very grimdark, especially with Gilliman's narration. I agree with what you say, Lewis, and the fact that, let's take it into account, like, Gilliman has been back for 2 editions, and he is the hope of the Imperium's survival, which he is. But it's just him. It's not the entirety of the Loyalist Primarchs. It's just him, shouldering the entire thing.
It's
so,
like, if Horse thought he had lost stress, imagine Gilliman.
yes, pretty much.
It's like he had to sell with, religious nuts and the fact that the Imperium does stupid shit all the time.
Yeah.
And him find out what's the hell's a Tau? What's a Gyranid? What's a Votann? Oh, actually, Gilliman, we just found out about Votans right now too.
Yes.
At least I was there for this one. Christ.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Half the galaxy, is split by a wall of warp storms.
Then imagine the Lions return, and he's like, he did what with a what?
Yes. Oh, who's stealing jokes now, eh?
I can do it because I'm a Blood Raven.
Yes. It's okay when I do it.
Yeah, it is okay if I do it. It is okay. Because
it's part of my character. That's what my character would do, says to the GM.
Because I'm filling my role.
Playing.
Yeah, I am just role playing. I am just role playing.
Yeah, I know. But it's kind of like, going back to the trailer for a bit. I did like the fact that, Gilliman specifically says that how, the Imperium's, propaganda machine, its functionaries, the ecclesiarchy are kind of like, hearkening, crying victory before they have actually won, only based on the fact that Gilliman's back.
Yeah.
And Gilliman knowing that, kind of like, I think that kind of the trailer, the whole narration is Gilliman just kind of dealing with the fact, having if they only knew moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. I find it weird, though, that, we didn't actually get the lion in the trailer, or a trailer with the lion, but I suppose we'll see that eventually.
I think having Gilliman was enough, because I think the trailer, it is sort of centered around him more than the lion, because I think, or what am I trying to say? I don't think the lion will. I don't know what I'm saying, but I think having Gilliman was enough for the purpose of the trailer, because considering his role as Lord Commander.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But You know, I can imagine Dusky watching a trailer and crying because he's hearing Gilman's voice.
Yes, probably. Most likely.
I just love you so much. Ultimate fangirl.
Hug me, Poppy Bobby.
But you know, I did show my parents the trailer just for the fun of it, and my dad commented how it reminded him of Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Well, with the bugs there, of course it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big vibes.
Big bugs. And you know, something else I liked about the trailer is that they made the Tyranids scary again.
Yeah.
Like they actually are intimidating because the Tyranids have been for the longest time, and you know, not even model wise, but kind of narrative wise, sometimes they kind of like get, you know, put in this corner in which they're supposed to be one of the biggest threats to the galaxy next to Chaos. But since the Tyranids don't have any actual characters because they're a hive mind, you know, of an eldritch abomination, literally, then you cannot exactly write things from their perspective. So they just get used as, you know, generic enemy for X army to defeat. So they lose a bit of their, you know, intimidation factor. Not in this case.
No.
Yeah, I think this is the case in which Gilman goes, "Oh, maybe I'm over my head with this one."
Yeah, pretty much.
And Neophyte's there's like, "Oh, don't say that, Gilman. We really don't want to hear you say that."
Someone's being negative.
No, it's like they're anxious that he admits that this is beyond him, almost.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of like what's so great about Gilliman's character is exactly that considering who he is and the position he's in and the situation he's in, if he breaks, everything breaks with him. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the luxury of breaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
he doesn't have the choice of turning away, does he? He's just got to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, I think the absolute spotlight from a trailer and from the box set, of course, is definitely the Terminators. And yeah, I think that's almost everyone's spotlight from that set box and that set trailer. So what do you guys have to think on that? And especially Games Workshop position that these Terminators aren't uniquely Primaris or Firstborn. They can be either or, depending on you.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea, honestly. For the longest time, I enjoyed the Primaris releases, but I was indeed worried that kind of like what makes the Space Marines, you know, cool, what makes them, you know, unique among other, you know, super soldiers in fiction, this whole knightly Gothic aesthetic that they have to them would be permanently washed away. And kind of like, so I was kind of dreading what will happen when they finally release the Terminator equivalent. You know, I was kind of dreading, are they going to use something based on the older Terminator model patterns design? Are they going to make a whole primarized thing? I don't know. And I'm really, really glad that they just made the Indomitus pattern true scale, because they look awesome. They are very iconic, very distinctive. And I like the fact that Terminator armor is kind of unique enough and advanced enough that you can literally fit, you know, either Primaris or Firstborn in them, just, you know, by adjusting the thing. So I really did enjoy that a lot, to be honest. I'm glad that they look the way they do, and I'm looking forward to getting some of them, because they're Terminators. They're awesome. You cannot go wrong with them.
Yeah, and what do you think, Ineptus?
I'll echo what Hubrecht say there. There's a big, obviously we saw the picture, the preview of the Terminator reflected in the eye of the Tyranid when they were teasing 10th Ed. And I was much the same mindset where we've seen a lot of, well, since the Primaris been introduced, we've seen a lot of updates to Space Marine armor, obviously going up to the Primaris style armor and the bolt rifles. A lot of stuff is getting more streamlined, especially with like gravity tanks and, as I said earlier, new land speeders. So there was that sort of worry that they would make the Terminator armor more streamlined, make it look more sci-fi, make it look, let's face it, Primaris look a bit more sci-fi than, more sleek sci-fi than grimdark sci-fi. So to see that they actually have updated the model and kept it looking as it has done for years now, it's wonderful to see it. And they do look fucking awesome. They're so much taller. They're so tall now.
Like they're supposed to.
Yeah, like they're supposed to be. Great big hulking walking tanks. It's wonderful to see it.
Yeah, and you know, when what am I doing? When 8th edition arrived and they showed off like aggressors and Gravis armored, Primaris Marines, I was thinking, well, are there going to be Terminators ever? Because it seems like Gravis armor serves the role of Terminator armor, but I'm glad that's not the case. That Gravis armor is Gravis armor is just a heavier set of intercessor armor, and that Terminator armor, it is what it is tactical dreadnought armor. It's meant to be something bulky and huge, something to wipe out like Gene Stealers on a Space Hulk.
Yeah, definitely. I also had a similar worry. Like, I saw the aggressors, everything in Gravis armor. I was like, is this the new, like, back when we didn't know if we're ever going to get new Terminators, and I often wondered, is Gravis armor the new Terminator armor? Because it's heavy, it's chunky, so you kind of could imagine it as a Terminator armor replacement in a sort of way, but definitely but it wasn't the same. So I always kind of prayed that, please let them, if they're going to give us real Terminators, like if you're going to redesign the Terminators, at least make them look like a Terminator armor, super heavy, super thick, literally, super chunky, because Gravis looks cool, but it doesn't have the same look and feel. It's it's its own thing.
Of course. And I'm definitely going to make the Terminator with the autocannon a Death Watch veteran, build character.
Yeah, it's always a good idea. That's good visual variety to the squad.
Yeah, and I'm sort of glad too that this is not like uniquely Primaris Terminators, because technically they could have done a new pattern of Terminator armor, because Horus Heresy definitely done this a few times over. Though I was thinking, well, is there something really new Call could have done different with the armor? Because I remember one person saying that they could give them like rocket launcher shoulders or grenade launcher shoulders or something like that. But then again, that was for the Votann, which is a whole different story. So I think they decide, well, we can do something different, but should we do something different? And I'm glad they decide, well, why don't we just upscale Terminator armor? Because, well, it is what it is. It's just heavier. It is tactical dreadnought armor. Why not just upgrade that?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Exactly. And we're definitely going to talk about other spotlights from the box, and not every single thing in the box, of course. So I'm going to bring up some spotlights, and you guys can add in your stuff too. If I can give like my immediate like from the box first, I think I'll definitely say that the Ballistus Dreadnought is my favorite from the box.
I liked it. I mean, I'm glad that we're getting more Dreadnought variants again, but I saw quite a lot of people being mixed on that. Quite a lot of people liked it, quite a lot of people disliked it. Honestly, maybe I would get one, but I would prioritize the Brutalis, melee and all that. But I liked it well enough.
Of course. So I will admit that the legs because they're not as bendy or they're not as bent as the other dreadnoughts and all that, it does look like chicken legs almost for how tall they are.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, I wonder if you could fix that by simply, bending the legs on the model a bit more. I wonder if that's even possible. I suppose we'll have to wait, but that seems, I imagine that would be a relatively easy thing to fix with some conversion. Maybe give them a bit more, or switch the legs with the legs that come with a normal Redemptor. Are they any different? I don't really know. I haven't seen them side by side.
Yeah, because the reason why I like it so much is because it does go back to, like Terminators, the original design of the Dreadnought, where it's more like a gun turret for how you can build it, having the rocket launcher and having the twin las cannons. Because of course, they retired the old model not too long ago.
Yeah,
The way they've assembled it, it does give a very retro look, doesn't it?
It
yes,
really
it
does.
does. Like, also, just to, I must say, considering they retired the old Dreadnought model, only in death does duty end.
Only in death does duty end.
Only in death does duty end.
Amen. But I'm glad that, like I said, yes, it does give a very retro look feel. Like for when I saw it at first, I was kind of like, wait, did they add an old pattern Dreadnought into the box? Oh wait, no, that's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah, I haven't even finished painting my Redemptor Dreadnought, but I'm definitely going to paint that into a Blood Raven one.
You know what I would like for, Dreadnought wise, that we get like a new version of a Venerable one that has these, very decorated, armor plating with, honor rolls and list of list of its battlefields. That would be awesome.
Well, the question, seeing as they're retiring the old pattern Terminator, what are they going to do about a Beyond the Fell-Handed model?
Oh. Yeah, that
was the old pattern Terminator, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes,
and
it is.
And I can just imagine what's in store for the Space Wolves in 10th edition.
Yeah.
Despite me and Badger's criticism, I am looking forward to like the Fell-Handed version or potential.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like you would to make Beyond the Fell-Handed, now that the Brutalis exist, it seems like a very simple thing of just making a more Baroque version of the same thing, you know?
Not even a Viking Dreadnought. It's more of a Viking cosplay Dreadnought because of me and Badger's criticism.
I agree with you in Badger's criticism. I like the Space Wolves well enough, but those criticisms were kind of on point. And while I like to rail on Ultramarines a lot, reading a couple of novels of them, they are a bit more nuanced than what they used to be. So that's a good one. But still, fuck the Codex.
But is there a specific model from the box from the Space Marine side that you guys like?
Well, barring the Ballistus Dreadnought, I think the new Inferno squad looks pretty good.
I have a thing to say about that, which might be a little problematic. I don't like them. Like
this is a Desolators fun all over again, isn't it?
Here we go. This is okay. I see them as you guys might see Desolators. All right.
Yeah.
I don't hate the Desolators. I'm just mid on them. Come on.
Like, what I just don't really like about the Infernus guys is like, well, these just look like Space Marines with flamethrowers.
Yeah.
And there's like nothing about the Space Marines themselves that look cool or look distinct from the others. Because at least with Hellblasters, you can see them having like missing limbs and artificial eyes and shit like that. Burns because they're working with plasma weaponry. But for here, it's like Space Marines with flamethrowers. That's it. No unique design or look.
I mean, I like them. Definitely, I might get a squad or two because I do like the idea of a squad just of a flame and melter weapons. I don't know if they actually have melters or it's just flamers, but whatever. I mean, but I get what you mean that they in general just look like some intercessors, but with flamers instead of bolters.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, we have only seen them in the Leviathan box, and I remember in the Dark Imperium box set that the Hellblasters that came with them, they were all really basic looking as well. They were just intercessors with plasma rifles. When the multi kit, the proper multi-part kit came along, they had bigger backpacks that were connected to the plasma gun. They look kind of more distinct, not huge, because at the end of the day these are still kind of like, well, sorta line troopers. I would say more like closer to Devastators, but I would suppose that we'll just have to wait and see. But I get why you mean that way, but I do like them because I simply like the idea of a full squadron of flavors.
Yeah.
And the Salamander players would love that. Let me tell you that.
You are right on that.
Flames.
The flames. The bombs.
Yes.
The force. They're in the walls.
They're
in the goddamn walls.
I'd like to see that. Like you were saying, completely agree with both of you. It looks like a Primaris with just a flamethrower. A stripped back variant of the armor. Maybe something akin to a Reaver. So it looks like they're dealing with heat. They're doing something to sort of offset the amount of heat they're dealing with.
Okay. I think I know where he's getting at. So it's like, extra, thick exhaust packs, something like that.
Yeah. Extra thick exhaust pack, sort of stripped back armor, so it vents heat from the body a little bit. So, again, really bad comparison, but I can think of no other one. Have you played Gears of War 3?
I haven't played a Gears of War game. Sorry.
I've only played them in my friends' houses. I never had an Xbox, but I think I cannot tell you specifically, but I think I sort of remember what you're going for.
Yeah, so stripped back armor, exposed skin, just to deal with the heat.
Oh, okay. That's actually not a bad design. I mean, the World Eaters do it all the time,
Yeah.
So they can flex more, show us your muscles.
Ooh, look at that. Got kills over that way. I said like this. It was
Yeah, why not? I think I can go for that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And definitely
like go full fire, flame protection, heavy armor.
Okay. And definitely there needs to be like a heavier version of the they definitely need to carry a heavy flamer around them.
Yeah.
Kind of like with Hellblasters, how you can give them different kinds of plasma weaponry.
Yes, I know what you mean. Let's see. I kind of want to. I actually kind of want to see that unit in specific more closely, so like I can get a better idea. But I cannot seem to find it. Hold on.
I've it on my phone here. I'll send it to you.
Wait. Here it is. Let's see. The Librarian, the Stun Guard Veterans. Oh, the Stun Guard Veterans I liked a lot.
Oh yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah, here they are. Yes, you're right, Lewis. In general, I'm put on the chat just, for reference. They are very, just intercessors using flamers. But like I said, to be fair, I remember the Dark Imperium box set being pretty much the same with the Hellblasters with just intercessors using, plasma rifles. So maybe in the multi-kit part, they will give them at least a couple of details that will kind of reflect, we're using flamers, so we have some details that kind of reflect that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Ineptus is, Hubrecht, I'm sorry, guys. Is there something that you liked from them all? I'm going to count as Starngard as your favorite from the box set, yeah? Will you say that's your favorite?
Yeah, I probably say that's my favorite, mostly because I'm kind of like legally obligated to despise the librarian. So,
Oh, that guy, that chunky man was definitely
I was
my.
waiting for that. I was just waiting.
filthy witch. I don't care how chunky he is. That's filthy witchcraft. I like them because they're the Stun God are pretty much they share a lot of what the Templar refresh did, in which they're just a primarized version of what already was. That doesn't take away what made them. They look like Stern Guard veterans. Like they look like Stern Guard veterans, and I like them because of that. And there's a head option of the old Mark. What Mark was the
Mark 6 equivalent.
yeah, Mark 6 armor with the box grill that looks angry. Has a head option for that, and that's always a win. I love that helmet. So.
I actually have a theory about that for why he has that helmet. I think that's a firstborn Marine who's been, upgraded into becoming a Primaris. Because I think, Space Marine characters do this all the time. Like they were firstborn Marines, but then they become Primaris. So this can happen with like veterans and other just simple Marines within a chapter. So I'm thinking
Marnus Kalgar had it done, didn't he?
Yeah. Him
and Hubrecht. And Grimaldus and Azrael.
Yeah.
Commander Dante
too.
So
Mephiston. Poor Dante, they cannot just let him die. Just let me die. Just let me die.
Got an upgrade for you. Oh, fucking not another one.
This might be a little risque for me to say, but I think he should have died. I don't think they should have given him a Primaris model. I know that's a little controversial, but it's like
I don't think that's that as controversial as you think. That's the very common joke regarding Dante.
It's like I remember making a video like years ago where I said, well, considering how old he is, would he actually survive the procedure? So what I'm thinking is that what if he tried doing that procedure, but he died on the operating table, and unlike Helgar, he didn't come back to life. He simply died because his body couldn't take it.
I mean, I get what you say, and I agree that maybe they should die. But here's the thing: do you ever read Devastation of Baal?
I have.
Yes. Remember the whole by the end point of that book, Dante is closer to death than ever, and literally what seems to be the spirit of Sanguinius tells him that he cannot let him die yet, and literally sort of kind of resurrects him, or at least it's implied that that's what happened. Maybe it was all his imagination, who knows. But I don't know, after that, him dying on the operating table would be kind of very anticlimactic, don't you think? Tragic, yes, but kind of very anticlimactic. If you're gonna kill Dante, at least let him die fighting,
Give him a blaze of glory, or
yeah.
Let him die somehow, bringing Sanguinius back to life. I don't know.
Yeah. Although I don't agree that Sanguinius should return that, but yeah, but that's kind of what I mean,
Yeah. You want his death to mean something. If it's a character like that, who's that old, it needs to be death or glory. Or
death or glory.
But would it be any different from Commissar Commissar Yarrick?
We didn't mention that moment of that. I'm still mixed on that, to be fair, because I agree that I know that we're getting off topic here, but
no, I'm not going off topic. I'm just saying, because don't you go on your rants. I'm just saying, would be any difference?
I'm not ranting still. I'm still not. I haven't said anything.
You're monologuing. No, what I'm just saying is that would Yarrick's death be any different from Dante's? Or Dante's death be any different from Yarrick's?
I mean, kind of what they did with Yarrick, like I said, I'm kind of mixed because GW did this in which Yarrick is dead, but we don't really know how he's dead, so they could simply just go back and say, yeah, he's dead, but not really. You kind of see what I mean? Because we don't actually know how he's died.
Oh, please don't do a psych thing. Like, don't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh, he's
That's
dead.
what I'm afraid
Psych.
of. That's what I'm afraid of. You see? So because we didn't get, see Yarrick die either because of old age or being killed by the enemy, like a lot of people kind of want them to, it was Angron that killed him, and now Gaskell is pissed at Angron. That would be a great plotline. But since we have no official word on how he died, then they could always, realistically, just pull a cop out and be like, "Oh, the reports of my death were highly exaggerated."
No, do not do that.
So
Yeah.
because I know did they retire the model of Yarrick, or have they actually killed him off in the lore yet?
Well,
Both,
they did both.
technically.
Oh, fucking hell.
What kind of rock were you sleeping on there, dude? Well, that must have been quite a rock. It's like, what happened? I just got here.
Why you must be so mean, Lewis?
Oh, it's not being mean. It's simple banter. I'm just role playing.
This is what my character would do. So, I mean, they retired his model, yes, but a model retired could simply just mean, oh, we're eventually getting a new one. So who knows, really?
Yeah. Primaris Yarrick now.
No,
Boris Yarrick.
no. Considering how the Xenos players can be, you know what? Sure, let's do that just to piss them off. Because they annoy me.
Yeah, I know, but I the idea of Primaris Yarrick is hilarious.
I don't know, because
Dreadnought Yarrick.
all your Space Marine players, you get all the stuff. No, I gotta starve.
Yeah.
They gotta starve, but even though they're horribly obese. I gotta starve.
You want me to starve? You want me to starve?
But
someone needs to do, Dreadnought Yarrick art.
Oh.
yeah, put his hat on a Dreadnought. Put his hat on the Dreadnought. Or claw and everything.
2 claws now.
He reincarnates as an orc.
No,
the wall energy breaks him back.
What's this M. Night Shyamalan thing? What the twist?
What a twist.
Reincarnates as an orc. Whips the orcs into an Imperial fighting force.
That sounds like a very bad manga.
No,
That
sounds
time
like
I was reincarnated as a green skin.
no. This sounds like bad fan fiction.
The worst isekai manga ever.
What was that, Lewis? Sorry.
No, this sounds like really bad fan fiction.
Yeah, it sounds like really bad fiction.
It sounds like someone's attempt to write like a Gaskell X Yarrick fan fiction. Yarrick.
That time I was reincarnated as one of the boys.
Yarrick saw Gaskell undress and enter the shower. The hot water pouring down his a hot water washing down his tight green muscles. He could smell a rich smell of mushrooms and sweat.
50 Shades of Green.
His eyes turn down and sees a mountain.
This is not Orky anymore. This Laneshi.
I did not write this down. I swear, I was doing this off my head.
Yuri searches WordPad.
Oh, my throat.
Then someone's watching it and goes, "Holy shit, this is hot."
Maybe, probably.
And as a way to segue into talking about Xenos, so Tyranids is I really like all the new stuff that Tyranids are getting and the different kinds of Tyranids we're getting. So
Yes.
before I talk about my thing that I like the most, what would you say are your favorite Tyranids in the box set?
The goddamn Screamer.
Oh yeah, that
Yes,
has the
like-
Chad jawline going on.
Yes. Like, man, like the Screamer is like the Tyrannid Prime and the Neuro Tyrant look awesome as well, but I don't know, the Screamer is, I don't know, the Screamer is, it looks new and it kind of looks classic at the same time, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like a very straightforward thing. But
yeah, because
I liked it because of that. I don't know why.
Yeah, because I know what you're saying, because it's a new Carnifex. Well, it's a separate evolution of the Carnifex, yet it's modeled
Yeah.
around the very original Carnifex from 2nd edition. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And I don't know, it looks like a more offensive, base Carnifex, because if I remember correctly, isn't the Carnifex supposed to be like a battering ram? It's there to take shots. It's a big meat shield, isn't it?
Of how I see it, I think the Carnifex model in general serves like the role of a Lehman Russ for how you can use it.
Okay.
But for the Screamer Killer here, it is more, for me, it would serve the role as a Dreadnought.
Okay, I think that's a good comparison, yes.
This looks like this one is for close combat, but I wouldn't be surprised if there comes one that has more offensive weaponry, like, long range stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely the Screamer Killer is for me. I'm honestly, if this is the standard for 10th edition, then 10th edition is going to be great, because I already got myself a box of orcs. But this wants me, makes me want to get knits. I want this. So yeah, Screamer Killer.
Yeah, I have a shelf full of Tyranid models that I haven't even finished, and that was like 3 years ago.
They're discontinued. You need to get new ones now. Those are
Outdated, no
old.
longer in use. Buy more.
Those are old. Ew.
Sorry, sir, you can't play in here with outdated models.
That's not a rule.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
no.
It's like, how socially inept we have to be to say something like that in the game store.
Oh, look at this dinosaur. He's using old models.
You know for a fact if you go in there with old models, they'll try and sell you the new ones.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, they're looking so old now. Look at these and more detailed. Oh, God.
Yeah.
But how about you, Ineptus? Is there something that you like from the Tyranid side?
Well, while I do like the look of the Screamer Killer, I like the big spidery boy better. What's his called? It's I'll find the name of it. It's Psychophage.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Is that-
yes.
so that's
looks
how you say it.
horrifying.
Yes.
That
Yes,
looks
it does.
absolutely horrifying.
Yeah, especially for a Sororitas.
Oh God, yeah. What does it do? Hunger for enemy psychers. I've actually got no
Yeah.
clue what it does. I just saw the model.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like,
Let me. Oh, here I have it here. The hive mind has imbued this particular biomorph with a hunger for enemy psychers. Yes, its digestive tract somehow able to metabolize psychic life forms into psychocorrosive ash, which it projects forward in blistering torrents. So it eats witches. It's a witch eater, and it shoots. It shoots back the the remains to the rest of the psychers.
And this is something I just thought of. So psychers and sorcerers technically aren't the same thing in Warhammer. Like, well, here's the thing. Well, technically they're not always the same, because being a psyker doesn't always mean, you're associated with chaos. I mean, you're connected more to the warp, yes, but it is more of a natural evolution thing. But not every single sorcerer is a psyker, but every sorcerer doesn't need to be a psyker, because being a sorcerer is more of the magic side of things,
Yes.
So what
Also,
sorry.
sorry.
The reason why I bring this up is that if this is the case, and because something like demons are, psychically concentrated creatures, because that's what the warp is, could this thing eat a demon?
Ooh.
Good question.
Yes, that is
a good question. I would imagine that I don't know, I suppose it will depend on, things like, I suppose that they will confirm that to us based on the fact with the keywords, like if the demons, get the psychic keyword, or, or the rules of this thing, make it sure that, make it clear that by being demons, they get affected by anti-psycho things, anti-warp, weaponry and enemies. Then I suppose that it could definitely be, because if this thing metabolizes psychic life forms into psychocorrosive ash, that's what it says, psychic life forms. So, well, demons do sort of fit that description.
Yeah.
That would be pretty funny, because the demons are like, I'm gonna eat your soul, and then comes the big bug and eats them.
If that is the case, it's getting nerfed straight out the gate.
Yeah, probably.
It's just gonna get nerfed straight away.
Yeah, because Tyranids before then would have been like, "Where's the fucking biomass?
Yeah, where's the food?"
Yeah, so, but because something like psychic blanks, because demons can't see them, psychic blanks, to them, they're invisible in the warp. So, and yeah, because that does imply that that demons are related to psychic energy, because that's what is the warp. It is psychic concentration. So I am really excited if they could explore this, like seeing this creature eat a bloodletter or pink horror. That'd be interesting sight to see.
It'd be a vacuum, wouldn't it? Just a vacuum cleaner for anything psychic.
Yeah, and this is where the Chaos Gods like him and be like, oh, maybe we're in over our heads on this one.
Yes, maybe. Because because like I said, like demons are, for intents and purposes, the most dangerous and most horrible thing in Warhammer, in the sense that, well, they're literally demons. By definition, they cannot be anything worse. And they have always had this kind of untouchability. Even if you kill them, eventually they'll coalesce back in the warp, and, they will be back. But, well, now the hive mind adapted to that. If this works like we think it does, the hive mind can really adapt to anything. And, they just put them on par with the demons of chaos on the horrifying factor.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting to see.
Yeah.
Though, yeah, to give my spotlight, and, Ineptus actually did talk about this, the Nero Tyrant, that's my favorite model from the box.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
it
looks,
gorgeous. Yeah, holy. Yes, it is, really.
And, I'll say this, I'm really glad that this is just not an alternate, Hive Tyrant build. This is his own creature, but it does serve the role of a Hive Tyrant. But for here, they give it its own look. It has tentacles, has a big brain, and all that. So basically, it's the perfect hentai monster.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I could see that from a mile off.
Children, this is what happens when you play Tau.
No, this is what happens when a 6th grader discovers porn.
That just brought back so many memories of secondary school.
Dear Lord.
That was an interesting experience for me. Girls kissing.
If that was your first experience, good God.
Good God. Hey, you sure you don't want a Slanesh army, Lewis?
I have actually considered it.
Of course.
To be fair, I'm betting on the fact that they'll release something Emperor's Children this edition. I'm pretty sure they will.
Oh, they will. They will. But
Chaos Primarch's back by Fulgrim at this point now, haven't we? All the Chaos Promise had new models, but bar Fulgrim.
And Lorgar. And Perturabo.
Oh, yeah, of course. I meant of the big four.
Oh, yeah.
Big four avatars of their gods.
Oh, yeah, that would be Fulgrim.
Yeah.
Oh, but you were saying about the Neurotyrant, Lewis.
Yeah, so again, this thing is actually built, based around a very old model from second edition, and I think it was the original Hive Tyrant from that set edition. So I'm glad that they also took something, old but made it into something new, and also they gave it just a cool spin on it, like making this into a flying tentacle thing. And also the I'm going to call it a crown because that's basically what it is to me. That's so cool of how they designed that sort of, crown plate on its head. It's so cool. And it goes really nice against the brain, the exposed brain.
It reminds me of some, first of all, yes, you're right. It's kind of like the reason I like the Screamer Killer so much, because it's kind of like an old thing made new and given a cool new twist to it. And hey, Ineptus, I don't know if you see this as well as I do, but you know how people with the knits are kind of like they're a weird combination of bugs, dinosaurs, and with some alien, Ridley Scott's Alien thrown into the mix. Tell me that doesn't look like a combination of the Alien Queen with a Metroid, brain.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it
exactly
looks like that.
There.
Yes, I haven't considered that one. It does look like a Metroid. Yeah, almost. Yeah. Tyranid Metroids. How is there something not like that been done?
Yeah, well, apparently it is now.
Well, there's a comparison with the new Neurotyrant to the
what a glow up! Come on. Yes.
But yeah, you can definitely see the Alien Queen in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My God, especially in the second one, you can see how that design's evolved. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a stunning one.
Yes.
And the colours as well. I mean, that's just Fleet Leviathan's colours, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So to see that in different genomes is going to be incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to get some bucks this edition.
Like, I'm going to paint that as my original Hive Fleet Setna.
I remember that.
Wine color and bone type carapace.
Right. Yes. I'm kind of mixed on the ideas of if I go for a Tyranid army, I'll look up the color schemes, especially because they made a couple of new ones. I don't know if you guys remember.
But actually, yes, I do, and that's something I was going to bring up later on in the podcast.
Okay.
But to quickly talk about color schemes, like I somehow really like the retro Hive Fleet Kraken look that they did. Because this was a little while ago. This was like last year, where the skin is sort of like this orange color, and the carapace is like this bone color.
Yeah.
So that's the retro look for Hive Fleet Kraken, and I don't know why I really like that color scheme. And if it weren't for me wanting to paint these as my original Hive Fleet, I think I would have painted them as the classic Kraken look.
Okay. Yes, yeah. I can see what you mean. Honestly, I like the Leviathan color scheme a lot. I do like the Kraken. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, here it is. I do like the color schemes of the Tyranids in general. I like most of them a lot. So that's what I was going for. I kind of having a hard time deciding on, do I go for one of the official ones, or do I try my hand of making a completely homebrew one? So that's going to be an interesting topic. Honestly, the box are going to have it good this edition. Wonder if this is all we're going to get, or are we going to get even more stuff for them?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just worried about scalpers.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes.
Like I didn't even get a chance to get the new Gotrek book.
No, you were saying, weren't you? They swooped in and took a load of them.
Like I thought they were going to be open at 1:00 at my end, but because I thought that's when pre-orders happen. But no, it was at 12. So I rushed home to try and order it. But lo and behold, it was gone.
Is it me, or have the scalpers been out of control?
They've
more
been
than
out of control.
usual.
Yeah, they have been. It's getting. Well, it was pathetic before, but it's even more pathetic now because it's just you're doing it to resell something. You probably have never interacted with 40k before in your life, or even Warhammer before. You're just trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah,
You're taking something that someone wants and trying to flog it so you can make some money. You're not interested. Piss off.
yeah.
It's like you have
Probably,
no dick. You have no dick if you do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
But and to go on and onwards, because I wanted to talk about this. So, it looks like we're going to get some lore slideshow around the so-called Forced Tyrannid War. The next big war with the Tyranids. Because before the first, Tyrannid War with High Fleet Behemoth, second one was with Kraken, third was with Leviathan. But what I find just a little disappointing is that this one, the fourth war, is High Fleet Leviathan again. It's like, oh, there's no new High Fleets we're going to be fighting against.
Yeah, that I agree with that. To be perfectly honest, I mean, I sort of see why they did Leviathan in the sense that Leviathan is literally coming from below the galactic plane, so technically it can reach from anywhere. But something I did like about this lore proposition was the fact that, well, the new Tyrannic War is going to focus on Segmentum Pacificus, and I've always said many times that it's weird that some Segmentum Pacificus is really well named because nothing lore important ever seems to happen in there. So there's only war except in Segmentum Pacificus. But yeah, I feel kind of strange that one of those new color schemes or one of the old High Fleet color schemes were not picked to kind of like, be the protagonist of this fourth Tyrannic War, like it's strange, to be honest, and yeah, disappointing.
Yeah, because I was going to say the two new color schemes that they showed off, why not use one of them for the new big High Fleet?
Yeah, you build up some lore then, because they're both, the names on the pictures have been redacted, haven't they?
Yeah, and
so you could build up some decent lore then with some different High Fleets.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I was already thinking of some new High Fleet names for them. It's like, this one's really difficult because it's like long and Greek, and Hubrecht might be able to help me. So it's the Greek monster in which it looks like a whirlpool, but it has teeth.
Charybdis.
Charybdis, thank you. That's how you say it. High Fleet Charybdis. Wouldn't that not be cool?
Yeah.
It would be bloody cool.
Yeah, like this theme, I always liked the Knits having their High Fleets named after, giant monsters, either giant monsters or gods, but they're more associated with just mindless destruction. For example, I came up with a name for a High Fleet. I talked to you once about it, Louis. High Fleet Quatlique.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And that's the Aztec snake, right?
Yeah, it's the Aztec Earth Mother, but contrary to other interpretations of Mother Earth, this is a horrifying abomination that has a skirt made of serpents, a necklace made of severed hands and hearts. Look, I'll show you a statue of her, just so you know, Ineptus.
I see this. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's basically the morbid side of Mother Nature.
Yeah. Mother Nature is a bitch and wants to kill you.
Mother Nature giveth and Mother Nature taketh away.
Exactly.
And this is the part that taketh away.
Yes. There it is.
Oh, bloody hell.
Now tell me that does not...
Tell me that's not awesome for a tyranny in the High Fleet, thematically, I mean.
And
yes,
tell me that doesn't look like a demon, like something from a demon movie or Exorcist movie.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the conquistadors thought. What other? I don't know. This is fun. Let's. Let me think of another.
No more. No more.
But Dad, I want to
well-
keep. Yeah.
No, because you're going to keep ranting and be like, shut up.
Do you want to know?
Imagine this
why
guy.
are you like this?
Imagine this
Look
guy
at
being
me.
80
Look
years
at me.
old.
Look at me. This is my podcast now. Sorry. Okay.
Oh,
I'm the captain now.
and this is what
Oh, for God's sake.
this is what the Republicans were warning about. Mexicans taking our jobs. Taking our jobs.
They say they're going to take our jobs. You were right. They were right.
We need Americans. We need Americans in the workforce. I'm American.
Okay, I'm not stealing your show. Go on.
I know, dude. What do you think I'm doing? Okay, so on and onwards, I guess. 'Cause going back about the Leagues of Votann, because now I can finally bring them up. So, beside the Marines and Tyranids, of course, and all the factions that could get really cool stuff from 10th edition, I'm really excited for what Games Workshop has in store for Leagues of Votann. Because what's happening is that I've been told they're going to get a second wave of new stuff. And that sounds really cool. And I have some cool ideas for what they could do. But I'm just really hoping to see like they have like more interactions in the big, plot of things or in the scenery of things. Because these are a fresh new faction, and because looks like they're going to be more interactive for the universe. That's something that I'm excited for. So, what do you guys have to say on that?
Anything dwarven, I'm happy with. I'm very tempted to start collecting Votann, so anything new they come out with, I'm so excited to see.
Yeah, because imagine them having their version of a gyrocopter.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
It's like they have to do something like that. It's too perfect.
Yeah, I agree. Like I almost bought a Votann box. Like I think I have an anniversary model here, but like a full Votann box. But well, upon hearing that rumor, I felt like, well, let's just wait, see what else they give to them. Like because right now they still need more development, and I think I'm not the only one because we have mentioned this before, but it's really weird that GW launched a entirely new faction to the universe, and we haven't gotten a single book on them. Like it's very strange.
Yeah, because Lionel Johnson got a book on his release. Even though Farsight didn't get a book, with the release of his model, they at least did something with Shaosun, like release a book on her.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is strange. It's like, so this is a whole new faction you're introducing, but there's no book.
Yeah, honestly. So I think like that makes the Votann like they're kind of there, but people don't know what they're actually up to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit of lore goes a long way.
Yes.
Like, well, then again, they just started showing themselves to the galaxy. So, like, lore-wise, it is still pretty young.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. That's fair, I guess. But well, we'll have to see what's in store for them. I mean, dwarven stuff like Ineptus says is always a win. Rock and stone. So rock and stone.
I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Dig a hole. Dig a hole. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
Dig a hole.
Dig a hole. Good enough, guys.
We should never get on Deep Rock, us three. It would be terrible.
Probably.
No, we have the right thing in mind. We just have to rehearse.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Oh, I was completely flat on the exit there. It was terrible. Would it be acceptable? Because obviously the Leagues of Votann, I know very little about their actual, well, what little lore there is of them. They're all sort of small organizations, aren't they?
Well,
Yeah.
there is like let's call them Votann holds within the center of the galaxy, like, you know, within the what's it called, what do you call
the galactic core, I think.
Yeah, galactic core. Yeah, there's literally like holds within that core, and yeah, you know, they were just more of isolated there for so long, or whenever they did show themselves, it's more like trade with, say, Eldar, Tau, humanity, whenever they came across them.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is that, and given their aesthetic, they are going to serve more of like Vikings, but not like Space Wolf Vikings, but more of
like Vikings,
like, you know, actual Vikings, like traders and travelers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That sounds actually pretty on point.
And because, you know, I actually have the codex and I have read of it, you know.
Mm.
And, you know, I'm going to say this: Leagues of Votann have a better Viking vibe going on than the Space Wolves.
They do. They do. You can see it in their designs, the sort of the engravings.
Yes.
On their armor and pieces of fabric. Now I'm looking at even look their HQ, Grimnir. There you go.
Yeah, it's full Gandalf wizard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a name for Odin, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Grimnir.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it is, or it's based on one. I think.
I'll go with what you say because I haven't got a clue, but
it is a bit weird though. It is a bit weird though that they named it the Grimnir, even though Grimnir in Warhammer is a war god.
Yeah. And then you got Logan Grimnar, who is the master of the Space Wolves as well.
I just thought of something. I mean, this is just lore theory, but you think that maybe Fenris could, you know, be an ancient, an ancient Votann hold or something like that, and that would explain both of them having Norse inspirations.
It could give the Space Wolf some redemption.
Planet of the Vikings. There you go.
Yeah, the planet of the Vikings.
Yeah, make the Viking cosplayers into actual Vikings.
Okay. Yeah. No, put the wolf stuff down. It's only meant to be an emblem. Put it down, boys. We're not going furry.
Yeah. Oh God, I just remembered. I know that we're probably making enemies of all the Space Wolf fans here, but
the Space Wolf fan watching this podcast, the Space Wolf fan,
the Space Wolf
only one of them.
It's like someone who says they're a fan of Aquaman. It's like, okay, you're the fan of Aquaman,
the fan of Aquaman,
the biggest and only fan.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, by the way, yes, Ineptus Grimnir is originally one. So that's another connection there.
There we go then.
Sorry, you were saying something, Hubrecht?
Oh, nothing. I don't know. Seems like since seems like that whole theory seems like a good point of connection of explaining why the hell these two armies of different factions have such a similar aesthetic, even if the Space Wolf, Space Wolves go too far with the furry thing. Oh, and speaking of that, the upgrades for Horus Heresy, the literal furry helms.
Yeah.
Yes. Poor Space Wolf.
Those things are such cheese.
Yes. Oh,
like there's such thing as too much cheese, guys. Like too much cheese on a pizza, it makes it into a greasy mess. It's like,
yes. Oof, that's bad.
How did I not talk about this yet in a podcast? But it's like those things are so lame. It's not even funny lame for me. It's like it's lame. It's like, fuck you.
They could have been, if they were wolf skulls helms, that would have fixed them,
Even then, they're not even actually wearing wolf skulls and like in the general armor and art.
Yeah,
those aren't actual wolf skulls. Those are skulls from like, say, what, a raccoon, I think, or from a fox. If you actually look up the wolf skull, it's not how this art depicts them.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But I don't know. I just imagine a chapter called the Space Raccoons.
Okay, not raccoons. I think it's from a fox. Yeah, I think it is from a fox. Yeah, those are more of fox skulls than wolf skulls, because wolf skulls do not look like that.
I just imagine poor Magnus standing on the balcony of the Great Pyramid of Tizca as a horde of armored furries burn his planet to the ground and just look at it like, oh, fucking hell.
I'm getting my ass kicked by furries, even though it should be the opposite way. Because these are people who've been bullied their entire lives, and I'm getting my ass kicked.
My lord, they've got new helmets. I can fucking see them, Ramon. Don't. I can't. It's bad enough to burn the place down, but it's even worse. They're looking like that while doing it.
Nuts versus furries. Who wins?
Yeah, they're the kind of people in which you want to bully them, but it's like, some of this isn't your fault. A man can take so many wedgies before they fall to pieces. Good luck to you,
Everyone
buddy.
has a breaking point.
So long as there are outcasts with no dads to play catch with, or lonely homeschool boys with internet connections, or Asians, our seed will find fertile soil. How can you stop an idea?
You underestimate the amount of rope we have. And this, my friends, is why the Black Templars are the greatest chapter in the setting.
Oh, I just found the best picture.
Oh, God.
No, it's not. I've seen enough 40k furry cringe to last me a lifetime. Gaze upon this.
Oh. I'm sure that's how a space wolf must look after the Geller shield, the Geller field drops.
Where the Wolven come from.
Oh.
Or a horribly inbred furry. Yeah, that
Badger is going to have a great time listening to this.
At this point, one speaker's working. He's trying to dislodge his fist from the screen.
what are you talking about? He's enjoying this. We're talking down on space wolves. It's like everyone likes to punch down on space wolves. All right, bullying is fun.
Oh, ow!
Oh, you're right, man.
You're right.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, your microphone crashed for a second. It's like, what did I do?
What happened? Snake!
Oh,
Snake!
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
One time I found a wasp in my office and I had a panic attack. Like,
Those things are horrifying, so it's understandable.
yeah, they're assholes. They're asshole bugs.
They're the assholes of nature.
There's a graph, isn't there? The less fluffy and longer legs it is, the more of an arsehole it is. So it goes bumblebee, honeybee, wasp, tarantula hawk, wasp,
Dolphin.
Maybe that.
Oh, no, start on dolphin.
Have you read up what how dolphins actually behave in the ocean?
I know too much about dolphins and how
It's like the whole
I'm going to tell you how dolphins act in the wild. No, you're not, David. No.
Let them be cute and cuddly. Don't ruin this for me.
Flipper, no.
Oh, no. Flipper is the O.J. Simpson in this story. Okay, that was bad. That was really bad.
Oh God.
Maybe that'll be the title of this podcast. O.J. Simpson Dolphin.
Flipper, the O.J. Simpson of the ocean.
Oh, my parents listen to this, so I'm scared.
Hello, sir. Hello, mom.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Blessings.
I think it's best to move on before YouTube takes down this thing.
Yeah,
It's gonna get worse.
I just want to say, this now feels like we've been laughing at stupid shit for like 10 minutes now, so now it feels like a proper podcast from us.
Oh,
It's derailed completely. It's fantastic.
this is what most of our stuff is, though. Come on.
Yes.
This is a Warhammer podcast, but it's a fun podcast because we can talk all we want.
Putting the fun in podcast. Hang on, that didn't work.
Funcast.
Funcast. Fun pod. No, hang on, that's something different.
Yeah, no. That sounds dirty.
But besides 40K, I think it would be criminal if I didn't talk about Warhammer: The Old World.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what do you guys think on all the stuff they're showing off, like the Tomb Kings versus Bretonnians? That looks like a launch box set. So, what do you have to think on that?
About bloody time. About bloody time they brought it back. How long have they been teasing it for now?
4 years?
It's been a good few years, yeah.
3 years, I would say, give or take.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic they're finally bringing it back. Again, the models look brilliant. They look detailed enough so they could be new, but they fit in with that classic aesthetic perfectly. I've got a few people who I work with who do fantasy battle still. I had a game with them a few months back and I loved it. So actually having new models and hopefully a new beginner box set to get people back into fantasy, I can't wait. I can't wait for it. The models look amazing. Hopefully they don't change the rules, just keep it as the last edition. But
it's just that I think to keep in mind is that this is going to be how Horror's Heresy is to the for the 40K universe, where it's more of a specialist game and is from Forge World mostly, from what I've been told. Because one of the things I've been told is like they're not exactly doing new models, but they're more of upgrading them. Like new sprue parts, sort of like with the Imperial Guard a few editions ago. No, not a few editions ago. A little while ago. Because before they got like a whole new, kit and stuff, they were just given an upgrade sprue.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's
kind of. Oh, sorry. No, sorry.
Oh no, so I'm thinking that could be something similar for here in this case. I think just from what I've observed, but seeing all this and seeing the Bretonnian Paladin, it's like, wow, this is really cool, and I actually have a few things to say about that. But I think it's a great idea to hear Hubrecht's input on this first.
So yeah, don't worry. So I'm kind of confused by the Old World because for the exact same reasons you just said, I agree with Ineptus that about time. Like this game is GW admitting the mistake on killing fantasy.
And fantasy wasn't making money.
I know, Lewis, but but it was the timing was not very good. Come on.
Okay.
With Total War coming out and becoming more popular than ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. I know it wasn't making money. That's fair. I'm just saying that. Okay, but I'm kind of confused because, well, they show new models, the Paladin, the Tomb King, which look amazing. I mean, if anyone has been paying attention, I'm a nut for knights, so guess what army I would get. but yeah, no, it looks amazing. I love him. But yeah, I'm kind of confused because at first I thought, I remember people saying, "Oh, we're not going to get a box or introductory box. We're not getting that."
Oh no!
Oh, but then I heard rumors that we are getting a box after all.
Well, I was thinking of a launch box, not exactly a starter set, but a launch box, kind of like we have Age of Darkness.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, fair enough. But what has me confused is the whole mini situation, because these two, the Tomb King and the Paladin, these are definitely new. Like, these are new things.
Yeah, they're new,
and they aren't new, or they are new.
Well, the Paladin, and yeah, they're new.
Oh, they're new. Okay. So what I'm confused about is that situation with the models. Like, are they just upgrade? Are they really just going to upgrade new stuff to make it look a bit more recent, or are they, actually developing new models? Because if you ask me, it seems like a very missed opportunity to make some money not making new stuff. It seems like a very missed opportunity to me.
Mhm.
Well, then again, they did soft sprues or parts for Bretonnians and all that. Like, this was a little while ago, like, but they were showing off like pictures of like different kinds of weapons and helmets you can give to Bretonnians.
Yes.
Work in progress stuff.
Yes, I remember. Like, I'm looking forward to it, and don't get me wrong, I want to get some fantasy armies, and I'm okay with it being the Horus Heresy equivalent to AOS, even though I would like that, they would have made an alternate timeline where the old world doesn't go boom. But definitely, so I'm kind of confused by it. I hopefully, they will put those questions to rest and give us new models and everything, because honestly, here's the thing, and I promise I will not monologue, but Bretonia and Tomb Kings are some of the oldest things in the fantasy roster.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Tomb Kings, if I remember correctly, Tomb Kings stopped having support long before, fantasy even died. And Bretonia...
Bretonia was the same boat. It was on the same boat. Yeah,
it's on the same boat. So it would be very, very strange in a financial and in a, normal sense not to make the new stuff new, like literally new. You know what I mean?
Well, I think this is going to be like new stuff, but like upgrading what worked maybe.
Yeah, like kind of like with the Terminators we talked about earlier.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, like,
or maybe it's like again with the Imperial Guard a little while ago. I think this was last year or 2 years ago, where they took the original Imperial Guard, but they gave them new helmets and more weapons and stuff. Then later on, that's when they did new Cadians and all.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. To illustrate how long it's been, the pandemic lasted, 3 years? I remember this announcement when I was living in Mexico City, and that was before the pandemic. So, yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
This stuff takes time, though.
Yeah, I know. Fair enough.
Yep.
And, actually, I want to actually talk about like the Paladin, because I have an interesting opinion on that. So this doesn't, from what I've read and from what we've been told, this doesn't look like to be a sort of D&D type Paladin, a holy knight and all that. What I'm thinking of this Paladin is that maybe this is more like the Palatines that worked with Charlemagne, his military officers.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you mean, but Paladin, even the word itself is the correct application for this model, because they were called the Paladins, the ones that worked with Charlemagne. They were his greatest knights and companions. Paladin means the peers, the companions. So,
well, that's what I mean. It's just that I think originally they were called Palatines, but the translation would be turned to Paladins.
Yeah, okay. I will need to look that up, but yeah, I mean, I get what you mean.
Yeah, this is from a Shadowversity video.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm thinking is that this is not like a D&D Paladin, but more like a quote-unquote historical Paladin.
I mean, it does look like that. To be fair, the idea of the Paladin as a holy anointed does fit the historical Paladin, because Charlemagne got a lot of association with due to his campaigns against pagans and against the Moors as well, kind of like captivated the imagination of more crusading oriented knights. So that's kind of like why where the association of the paladin with the holy blessed knight and stuff came about. So I think it's both things you mentioned.
Because what I'm thinking is that, Bretonnian already has their version of paladins. They're called Grail Knights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, this is something I'm going to talk about because I think this is a good change that they did. So,
Oh, really?
it looks like for knights in general, Bretonia, not every single knight is going to have their own color scheme. Instead, they're going to have a color scheme centered around a certain dukedom. Like Space Marines in a chapter.
Yes.
Yeah. So initially, it might sound bad that you're taking away character for not painting every single knight his own color scheme. But then again, are you going to really paint 20 knights in your army in their own color scheme?
What are you, a coward?
It just sounds like a lot of weight to that, man. And think of it this way: the knights painted under a dukedom, it does follow like, we serve the duke, Knights of the Realm and stuff.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It does seem like a way to encourage people to buy the Bretonians without being terrified of having to give every knight its individual color scheme, because that is very harrowing a task. I don't know what you think, Ineptus, about.
No, yeah, it's a very, very fair point.
Yeah, because it's like, come on, 20 different color schemes for a character.
That sounds like cowardice, mon ami.
Oh, but monsieur, you don't understand. I only have a certain. I don't know what to say.
I didn't.
It's like,
Yeah,
Je ne comprends pas. Je ne. I don't speak French, lad. Okay.
I'm not from.
I'm French. Why do you think I have such a outrageous accent?
Well, if you're from Quebec, it'd be more outrageous.
Can you tell I'm speaking to two members of the Commonwealth?
And
God save the quick king. I nearly got it wrong.
But last thing actually, so because this version of Warhammer: The Old World is set within hundreds of years before the timeline in which the world fell apart, this is the era in which there was the 3 emperors ruling the empire. If you guys know of that.
Yes.
I'm not too far up on fantasy lore, but I'll go with what you said.
Yeah, so before Karl Franz of the Empire, the Empire was ruled by 3 emperors who were having a civil and religious war. Like, there was an emperor that wanted to take away the worship of Sigmar. There was an emperor that wanted to worship just Ulrich full on. No Sigmar, no other gods. And I forgot the third one. What was the third one?
I think it was Tal. I think.
Either way, there were 3 emperors that decided, no, I'm the emperor, and there was a little civil war going on. Or then again, this little war lasted hundreds of years. But the point of this is that because this is where the setting is going to be taking place in this timeline, and if they're going to do new books out of this new or in this returning world, how would you guys feel like a sort of War of the Roses, Game of Thrones type book series within the Empire?
I honestly would like it a lot. I mean, it's I think it would fit to the timeline perfectly, and I need to say that, for example, this is the timeline of the game. It's just before the Great War against Chaos, when Magnus the Pious united the Empire and went to war against the second ever chosen, Asavar Kul, I think his name was. So I think that that's what they're going for in that regard. So I think it's going to happen that we're going to get a Horus Heresy sort of situation in which we have a very lore important conflict in the past that's going to get more, that's going to get expanded due to the setting of the game, if you got gentlemen know what I mean.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity of this.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like a very good opportunity to deepen even more, fantasy's lore, and hell, maybe we'll get a Magnus the Pious mini. That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It would be interesting if they did go for, like you said, War of the Roses, Game of Thrones sort of retelling of that sort of lore. I know I'd be there. I'd be well into that sort of stuff because, well, living in England, knowing a bit about Civil War, War of the Roses.
Yes.
I'd like to see what could be mirrored.
Yeah, that would be
in that universe.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You filthy Lannisters.
No, it's Lancaster. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's Lancaster.
When Badger found, when Badger found out,
what did he say?
When Badger found out that Ineptus was from south of England, he was like, "Oh, he's a Lancaster," because he's from northern England.
Yeah, Badger is a Yorkist, and Ineptus here is a Lancaster.
I don't know what side my part of the world was on when it happened. We're in Devon. I don't know.
Well, you say yourself that Devon is the Florida of England, so
It is. Yeah, I'll give you that.
is that everything is that everything that goes with it?
No,
Gators.
You got to put cream
Horribly-
on your scones first, or you get executed.
Horribly inbred children.
No, that's Tiverton. That's different. That's about 10 miles. That's people from Tiverton. They're different.
I think Robert E. Howard's character Solomon Kane. You know him in Ineptus.
Solomon Kane.
Solomon Kane. Like from the same creator of Conan the Cimmerian.
Oh,
or
yeah,
the
yeah.
Barbarian. I think he's from Devonshire as well.
Oh, no.
Oh no, but he's a badass. Like he's a badass. You should look.
Oh, he doesn't have the accent, does he?
I don't know. I just only read about him because written word and everything.
I'm going to look into this now. I'm going to look at this. This sounds brilliant. He's from Devon.
All right, bye. How's it going?
Right, the handsome. Oh, brilliant. I'll look into that. I'll look into that. Sounds good.
A version.
But I think we actually reached a good point where I can ask you guys some questions that people have asked of us. If you're up to it.
No more questions. No more questions. Not after the last time. Yeah, go on.
I didn't study.
I
come on.
revised for the test. I'm buggered.
You're good. You're good. All right. Let's see. Which one should we do first? I'm going to pick one of these from Badger. So, what is an aspect of the lore or setting you would like to see explored more, from themes to specific characters?
Explored more.
Well, I think I gave my answer already a little while ago about the Leagues of Votann. I would definitely like to see them more explored more, definitely in a book.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I feel like...
Or definitely this. Little spoilers for the Shadow Sun book, but knowing you guys, you're not going to read it. So you guys probably know about the initial idea of the Tau Chaos God that's being created within the warp.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in Shadow Sun's books, he's basically almost the chosen warrior of this god, like a champion of it, near the end of it.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so I definitely want to see that explored more, and definitely the whole idea of humans and other species worshiping the greater good as an actual god. I want to see something like that more in books, and definitely on tabletop if they're able to.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And by the way, I plan to eventually read, the Tau books I already read, listened to, more like the Damocles books. So, I mean, don't sell me, don't ride me out just so soon. Come on, man.
Okay.
Why would I expand on the lore? Maybe I think that Chrono said this, a while back, and I agree with him. The Eldar have become kind of irrelevant to, well, not irrelevant, but very, unimportant lore-wise, despite claims that they supposedly are more important than ever. I always felt like the Dark Eldar suffered the most of this due to their condition. They're in Komorra, they're heading away from everything, and they just come out to steal and raid stuff. So I've always felt like somehow put in some actual real danger that position, so that forces them to be, more involved in the galactic plane. That includes the Harlequins as well.
Yeah, because Psychic Awakening really did bite the Eldar in the butt.
Yeah,
like it's definitely your brain. It's like, what has he done? Like, what did he do?
She gave an armor to she and Cole gave an armor to Gilliman, and that's it.
And there was this whole sword thing going on in Psychic Awakening, but then the Keeper Secret stole all the swords, scattered them all over again, and it's like, well, we're back where we started.
Oh, yeah, they're back at the square one. Well, no, they're not at square one, worse than they were before, because Votann got fractured, so that's one big craft roll down, sort of. So they're worse than they were before.
Or just there thinking, it was a waste of 500 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, well, back to square one, lads. Come on.
How convenient.
Well, I'd have to echo both of you there, saying about the Leagues of Votann with you, Mr. Jarvis. I'd love to know more of their lore, what their end game is, really. What they're doing. And also to touch on what you said, Hubrecht, I want to know more about how the Eldar interacted with what I'm not going to tempt fan fiction bait by saying this, but I do want to know what their reasons were for bringing back Gulliman. And like you said, what Ivrain actually did.
Yeah.
If there's any sort of connections, not romantic connections, but
I bring back your Primarch. You bear me child, yes? He did what with a what?
This line comes out, you did what with the Eldar? I said, don't start with me, lad. I've been out here for 200 years. You've been soaking in your room for the last 10,000.
Yeah, he filled her up like a cream donut.
Oh, dear. Oh, God. The bar has hit the floor now.
Yeah, probably.
Like leaking. Okay, I'll stop there. I'll stop there.
Okay, going back to more wholesome content. I just thought about something else, but that's very predictable from me. But I'm still going to say it. Just to close this side of the question on my part. So, other than the whole issue with the Eldar, there's a bit of a thing with the Templar that kind of needs to be addressed in the Codex and the supplement on last edition now. Well, not yet, but soon enough. So Grimaldus became a Primaris, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got a book that describes the aftermath of Hubrecht becoming Primaris, but Grimaldus became Primaris too. And we got no comment on that. Like, none at all. Nothing. Really? It's just, Grimaldus became Primaris. And that's it. Nothing happened.
It's so weird, too, because Grimaldus has this huge story that almost everyone in the fan base knows and can retell on top of their heads. But after Hell's Reach, I'll be honest, he sort of went into the background. It's like, what happened to him?
Yeah, and here's the thing. In that same book, they had a lore piece that was really interesting. That, people of Hell's Reach, you know that Armageddon has been getting fucked over even after Gaskell left in the Third War for Armageddon, right? I think that demons came around. It's very close to the cicatrix. But the people of Hell's Reach have been venerating Grimaldus as a saint on the same place in which the cathedral fell on top of him.
Oh,
And that's where they execute heretics, in memory of the sacrifice of the hero of Hell's Reach. That there wasn't only one though. But so kind of like they're venerating him as a saint, but Grimaldus is still alive. Normally, living saints, the saints need to be dead, to get venerated, right?
Well, you're talking to the peasantry. You're talking to the peasantry. They won't know. They wouldn't know.
Yeah, I know, but what I mean is that would kind of like be a good, plot thread to follow. Like people have been giving theories about, is Grimaldus the first, possibly the first living Saint Space Marine, things like that. So that I would like to follow up on that.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about lore and wondering what happened? What happened during Indominus? No, I mean, in the Indominus...
Sort of skipped that, didn't they?
No, I mean, in the Indominus box, it's like, the Necrons are rising. The Silent
the Pariah
King,
next, yeah.
The Silent King has returned. What happened? What happened? It's like, the reason why I bring this up, I was going to try and bring this up a while ago, but in Dark Imperium, right, that had a book, centered around the Plague War and all that, because that's what the 8th edition box was about, and they made 2 other books after that. Yeah, so the Plague Wars had a beginning, middle, end. Everyone can tell what the Plague War was and what the purpose was. But for 9th edition, because Indominus was to promote Necrons, and the whole lore slideshow was going to be about the Necrons rising en masse and the Silent King returning. But with all of that, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like the book that came from it sucked, from what I've been told, and it looks like they were just like, "Well, okay, it's over. Let's go." It's like, whoa, what happened? What did I miss?
It was a bit too quick for a Great Crusade, lads, wasn't it?
Like, I mean, the Indominus Crusade is still happening, but it's like the whole, like what Hubert said, the Nexus Pariah thing, they didn't talk about that, or at least I didn't pay attention to it that much. And I felt
it was skimmed over, basically. They brought, that's a very good point. They brought back a character who is as impactful to the universe as the Emperor in the form of the Silent King, but other than the Silent King is back, did he actually do anything like himself other than just or being the boss in the background of the Necrons? Like,
it's like, it's like, oh boy, I hope someone got fired for that blunder, because it's like, did I miss something?
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, they need to kind of like, you don't bring back a character that important and just leave him there,
Yeah, and that, if we thought Eldar got bit in the butt, it's like, look at what happened to the poor Silent King.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's actually disrespectful, I think.
But moving on and onwards, technically Batcher acts like a bunch of questions in his tweet, but then again, a bunch of his questions were topics I was already going to cover in the podcast. So it's like, sorry, man.
Silly Badger.
But here's a good question here. So what's your favorite second faction, or favorite faction besides your preferred one? So say you have a favorite faction, what would be your second favorite faction?
Hmm.
Because if I could go first, for 40K, my first faction would definitely be Tau, because of course. Second favorite faction, I think I would say maybe Space Marines, but Space Marines and Tau are basically neck and neck for my favorite faction. But I think I definitely know what will be my second favorite faction. My second favorite faction would be Imperial Guard. Because, of course, for AOS, this is a definite answer. My first favorite faction within AOS would definitely be Stormcast Eternals. And second favorite faction would be Fire Slayers. And there we go, talking about AOS in the setting.
You might as well just add fantasy to that as well.
I don't know, not to go overboard.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But what about you say, gentlemen?
Well, obviously, I'm primarily Space Marines. I love them to pieces. If I had to choose a second one, I would either change it up and go for Tau. Again, I like big mech suits and technology sort of thing, so that really speaks to me. Or if I knew more about their lore, more than likely Votann.
Okay, yeah.
But I would need to know more about their lore before I would go collecting them. But if I had to choose a second one, I'd go for Tau. I'd go for Farsight Enclaves.
Oh yeah, man. We have a base king right here. We got a king right here.
Purely because they actually use bloody melee combat.
Look, he knows.
And if it was AOS, I'd either go with the tree people or the steampunk dwarves, because I don't know what the hell they're called.
Oh, Cardron Overlords, yeah.
That's the one.
Oh yeah, those guys are cool.
Okay, for me, I mean, like I said, everyone knows already, but of course, favorite faction is Space Marines, specifically Black Templars. So, like I said, for the sake of variety, I'm going to go outside the Imperials because then it would be the Sororitas. But I would say that for my second favorite faction would be either this is kind of cheating, but either the Orcs or the World Eaters. I'm kind of undecided on them because the Orcs are just so much fun. The Orcs are so much fun.
They are
like they literally are weaponized autism. And like I love angry characters, and I already have that with the Templars, but kind of like the World Eaters are the other angry characters, and they're angry in a different sort of way than the Templars. So and the new models are awesome. So like kind of like it's a tie between Orcs or World Eaters. I like big guys swinging serrated weapons a lot, you could say.
And like you talk about Orcs having weaponized autism, Angron is literal weaponized autism.
Okay, if that's Angron, then what is Gas?
No, Angron is that good doctor that had that temper tantrum.
Oh no!
I am a Primarch. I'm a Primarch Emperor.
Oh god!
Oh, that's vile. That's vile. Then what is Gaskell? Then what are the Orcs? If the World Eaters has autism, what is the Orc?
It's the boss. It's the boss, Dr. Hahn.
No. Angron is weaponized autism. Angron is down. No, wait. No, what I meant to say is that Angron is weaponized autism. Gaskell is Down syndrome.
That's vile, man.
Okay, that's pretty bad. Maybe I'll edit that out.
That's vile, mate.
Hey, I have
Cancel.
I have an autism card, so I can say it.
Yeah, so do I. I can say too. I'm in the spectrum. I can say it as well.
Not only are we culturally diverse in this podcast, but we're also mentally diverse.
Yes. To be fair, good taste doesn't come from normies. You know what I mean?
Men of culture need to be a little bit odd.
It's just that the curse is that you're not going to get a girlfriend till you're 30.
Yeah, maybe.
In exchange for your humanity, you I forgot the joke. In exchange for losing your humanity, you're so focused on something that you like. Maybe I should move on onwards before we get canceled on the show.
Yeah, probably.
But honestly, though, I think we have reached the end of the show. Is there anything else you guys would like to say before we call it in?
There was, but I've forgotten.
Bro.
What a great way to end.
Yeah. Whoa, that was anticlimactic.
That was a bit. No, hold on. I just remembered. Did I see a while back they're doing a Captain Titus miniature?
Oh yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate that thing.
What?
I don't like it. I don't like it. It looks awkward. It looks like he's about to fall and slip, and it looks like he was meant to have a jump pack with him, but they just forgot to put it on him.
I'll give you that. Fair point.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point.
I was sort of expecting more, guys. It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't excite me. It's like, meh.
He's going over on a banana skin and he's slipped.
Yeah.
he's gone over mid-charge and he's just...
Oh, I've fallen! And then the Dark Angel comes and kills.
Leandros just tactically placing banana skins all over the
I swear, Leandro's my... Considering that, I don't know, the bolt gun, the game, supposedly it's canon to Space Marine.
It technically is, because the character says in the game, I will finish what Captain Titus started.
And it's the same planet.
Yeah,
as well.
Graya.
Back on Graya, aren't you?
Yeah. Graya. So, who knows? Maybe Leandros did fall to chaos and we'll actually have the excuse to kill him.
With any luck.
With any luck, yes.
Please, God, give me a reason.
Please, Emperor. Give us a chance to kill that bastard and,
have him go.
Amen.
Have Titus go Greek on his ass, man.
With a chainsaw, preferably.
Thebans versus
Thunderhammer.
Oh,
worse. Make it worse. Just get a Thunderhammer. Just
stop. Have a time.
or the Thebans in Sparta.
Oh.
Do you fit Pride Month?
Oh, here we go.
Not shying away from controversy.
No. Pushing the boundary, one badly placed step at a time.
That's appropriate. I'm
not going to go all iDubbbz and apologize 10 years later.
Never go full iDubbbz.
Never go full iDubbbz.
How the mighty have fallen. I have a friend I used to watch them all the time.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't think he's the only you gone for, has gone.
I'm sorry for doing this. I'm sorry for doing that. I'm sorry.
Never apologize to cancels. To the canceling. Never.
I apologize for being funny.
Yeah.
No, then they find out the guy
be sorry that you have those.
or they find out the guy is a pedo.
All right, yeah.
Well, with his haircut at the minute, wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Why? Anyway, yeah. Dark, it went dark for a minute.
The less said about Philip Schofield, the better.
Is there a closing statement you want to make, Hubrecht?
Oh yeah, that turned out for a minute. Anyway, hopefully this new edition will pan out to be better than the previous one. Actually, the rules are already on the website. You can download them for free, so you guys should check that out.
Yarm me hoities. Yarm me hoities. Plunder and share as you may.
And hopefully the old world will have new models. Bretonia for life. Yeah. For the lady.
Fantastique.
C'est magnifique.
And anyways, thank you all for watching, and thank you, gentlemen, for returning once again. Thank you for coming back in town.
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
A great honor.
And with that, I'll see you all next time. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Peace.